Well, welcome everyone. We're into the third week of June at this point, and this is an important week. The third week of any quarter is always a special lesson, a special class, because that's when we hit the solstice and equinox points. And right now we're just a few days away from the summer solstice. Of course, for Nicole in South Africa, you're just a few days away from the winter solstice. And still, those 2 points have a lot to do with the light and are very spiritually charged and potent times to do spiritual work. With each season comes a turning point in the circular cycle of growth. Through the spring, we've been working with the rising light, using the heightened presence of solar light and growth of the natural world to give attention to spiritual light and to the manifestation of our own personal heart's desires. And that's our whole focus for tonight. Now, for those of you just joining this program, that would be you, Rachel, this is really the first of many experiences where we utilize the spiritual links that we create among the entire student body and draw upon the amplifying effect of all of us together. Just like we did in the workshop you attended last weekend. And this week, in some recent weeks, I've delved a lot more deeply into some of the mysteries and science of time and space and group energy. But this week's focus is simply on practice and experience. This is where we do the spiritual work to call it all in, to call our dreams into manifestation. And do keep in mind, as you do the meditation that we're going to do tonight, that each time you create the thought of all of us joined together in a circle of light, it becomes easier and easier to access the synergy of the whole, that amplifying effect of all of us together. It grows with repetition. Now, the most powerful state for spiritual manifestation work is a kind of artful and somewhat paradoxical blend of, on one hand, following our human desires and passions, really listening to them and following them, but then also surrendering all attachment to specific outcomes. That's kind of a fine line there. And also equally important is to then gratefully receive whatever shows up. Once we've really identified our desires and followed them and put out our intention and then surrendered all attachment, then we need to really open to being grateful with whatever shows up. And this process requires working through the vehicle of our personality without letting our personality take over. Always keeping in mind our co-creation with a power higher than our conscious mind and our personal agendas. It's when we've truly listened to our heart's desires and we've opened to receive whatever spirit brings, even if our personality doesn't immediately like what shows up, it's bound to produce something better in the longer term. Something that'll make us look back and be grateful for the delayed gratification, because where we wound up is so much more satisfying than what we were originally aiming for. But, and here's a big but, life's disappointments, the disappointments that we've had over the years, over the decades, these disappointments can get in the way of this process. And for some of us, past hurts may have taught us to stop listening to our desires to such an extent that we rarely let ourselves feel passionate about anything. And then, on the rare occasions when we do, it's with just tremendous attachment. It's with this fierce and fearful attitude of, oh, I have to have this, as opposed to, oh, that would be nice. Alternately, we may have so given up on our true desires that we no longer recognize them, and instead we start striving toward all kinds of pale substitutes, such as addictions instead of true fulfillment, or a lifestyle that's more about acquiring than just experiencing quality of life, or just being right and really holding on to being right, instead of being loved, etc., etc. I could give a lot of different examples. The whole expectation that we're going to be disappointed can inhibit our ability to trust the process of life and to just gratefully receive the gifts of the present, especially when what comes doesn't immediately fit our pictures. We may fail to give our desires a chance to develop by rejecting each new sprout of our highest good as it begins to grow. We see these small, fragile little shoots, and they don't match up with the full-blown garden that we have in mind. We see the little tomato plant shoot, and it doesn't look like a whole basket of tomatoes. So, we might start stomping it out and getting disappointed. So before we can use our collective energy to manifest all of our heart's desires, first we're going to clear the way for this by healing the old wounds of past disappointments. All of us can probably recall times that we just reached for our dreams, we took a big leap of faith, and we fell flat, squashed like a bug on the ground below. And these kind of crashes really do create a kind of emotional residue in both our body, literally, it gets stuck in our body, as well as in our mind and our thought patterns. And these leave us more defended and shut down than we were before. We become less trusting and less willing to imagine bigger possibilities for ourselves. And when we do dare to hope for more, that's when, as I was saying, we become really attached to whatever outcomes we're imagining and hoping for. And these falls that then leave us hurt and cynical really are more leaps of hope than of faith. And they really are destined to just result in wounds when they don't go according to our plans. Now, with a leap of hope, we're deeply attached to a personal agenda, and we're counting on it to unfold just the way we imagine. We've really lost sight of our co-creation with something higher and wiser than our limited personality and perspective. And we haven't left any room for spirit to intervene. Consequently, when we discover that we can't control our destiny from this level of our conscious ego, we're devastated, and instead of strengthening our access to an unlimited source, we go into a mindset that just affirms our smallness and our powerlessness. But when we truly have faith, it's really different from hoping. We're so certain that the outcome will be fine, whatever it is, that we've let it go. We really are able to feel at peace and be happy in the present. Our openness allows us to recognize, beneficial opportunities and possibilities, even if they don't look like our pictures. They're different from our plan. And then we're able to let the little small shoots of possibility grow into something, even when, maybe they're not immediately rewarding. A leap of faith is the whole attitude of, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be great. Whereas hope has more of a desperate flavor, along the lines of, oh my God, this has just got to work, it's got to work, it's got to work. That's more hope. So if you've got pen and paper handy, just take that out, and if not, just do this as an internal reflection, and take a moment to just give some thought to some of the significant failures and disappointments of your life. And see if you can identify one or two of these failed leaps of hope that just left some big wounds behind, and just jot these down on paper. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a break because, of course, I noticed just as we started, somebody outside started mowing their lawn. So I'm going to close the windows and see if you can maybe hear me better. So, again, remember that a truly effective manifesting state requires, number one, following our desires. Number two, surrendering our attachment to specific outcomes. And number three, receiving gratefully whatever comes. So give some thought to how past failures, hurts, disappointments may have shaped your personality to make some of these difficult, maybe some more difficult than others. In particular, see if you have any of these challenges, and just make a note if you see yourself in any of these things I'm going to rattle off. Number one, do you easily feel passionate but have difficulty letting go of your attachment to outcomes? Like you get excited, but then you get really disappointed if you don't get what you want. Number two, are you so detached that you have some difficulty really feeling your desires, and maybe you don't always know what you want? Number three, do you have difficulty feeling grateful in the present? And this latter, this is sometimes the case when we're always striving toward a goal, but never stopping to appreciate it when we get it. So if you see yourself in any of that, just make a little note. And now see if you can recall a failed leap of hope that in retrospect you actually feel glad didn't go the way you'd hoped. And something from the past that had a real disappointment factor in the moment, but as you look back, you can see, wow, I dodged a bullet there, or, well, things really turned out for the best in the end. See if you can think of any of those. And now see if you can recall a past failure, maybe one that was disappointing, that actually led to something better eventually, that really turned into kind of a lucky break, perhaps. And just make a note about that. Finally, bring to mind something in your life now that isn't going according to your personal plan. Just jot that down. Maybe something you even have some attachment to. You want it to go the way you want it to go, and it just isn't. And now just imagine, see if you can think of maybe at least several completely different ways that this seeming roadblock is preparing the way for something much better to come. Like just play with this in your imagination. Just pretend you're writing some different endings to this story. And see what comes to you. The seeming roadblock in your life is actually preparing the way for something much better to happen. What might that scenario look like? before we move into our meditation, I'm going to unmute everybody and just open it up. If anybody wants to share anything that came to you during that, or if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything at all, just jump in. I'm unmuting. And Jan and Pete, I think, okay, I think, see, you've got yourselves muted. If you want to share, just unmute yourself. But otherwise, anybody who has something to say, just jump in.
Hi, Lynn. So on your 3 steps to manifesting, I didn't quite get the first one. It's know what you want and feeling it.
Yeah, it's listening to the voice of excitement, desire. It's you know, we might have this urge that says, I just really want to take a day off today. You know, that's just our passion, our desire in the moment. You know, it's on a small scale. But you know, if we listen to that, and you know, as we're able just to start following those little desires, they have a way of leading us where we need to go. You know, our desire nature really does connect us with inner guidance. It gets out of control when we suppress it and we deny it and we ignore it all the time. That's when it starts to seem like a raging beast that, you know, takes us all down the wrong directions. But you know, if we really listen and honor those nudges that say, I just want this. For some reason, I don't know why, I just want it. They become more and more clear voices from intuition. So that's a good starting place for manifestation, like deciding or discerning what is it that I feel passionate and excited about. It's not what we think we should want, as in, oh, I should, you know, do better at work so I can get a promotion, so I can make more money, so I can buy a better house. You know, if we're really passionate about a better house, then that's where we need to give our attention for manifesting. And does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
And of course the next step then is when we get in touch with all of our excitement and joy, like, oh, I want a new home, that's what I'm really excited about. Then we have to let go of our attachment and still be very light about it. We've been talking a lot about that in the last couple of weeks. So anyone who's hearing this for the first time, you haven't checked out the videos, and this is kind of ringing some, you know, bells for you, you might want to just go back and review those, and we get a little bit more in depth with some of that, just taking it all lightly. And then when we let go of attachment, that isn't about just becoming detached and numb, because that can be the opposite extreme of passion. Letting go of attachment really means living in joy and gratitude in the moment, of just being really present and feeling full of life and full of God and, you know, full of the joy of just being. So those are the 3 different elements that are all equally important. Anyone else? Sharing thoughts, comments, questions?
Hi, Lynn, it's Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
I was just going to share that, you know, over the years of kind of seeing those disappointments, or the job that I didn't get, or different things like that seemed really disappointing in the moment, I can really see where it led me to something better. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of like there's a reason. It's always something better or higher. But
yeah.
You know, for a long time I didn't see it that way until I became more into the personal growth realm. But yeah, I find that to be very true.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's helpful when we can start to really see that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my classic stories that I've told before here is the guy who went into a healing circle in one of my workshops, and his first thought was, oh, I want to just heal the plantar wart on my foot. And I actually gave the assignment before we started. Now think of something you want even more. And he had the thought, oh, I want a better relationship with Mary. And Mary was his wife. They were having problems. They'd been having problems for years. And he went into the healing circle, like boom, instantaneously his his plantar wart disappeared. Spontaneous healing, woohoo! It's a miracle. And then shortly thereafter, his relationship with Mary totally fell apart. They got divorced. And about a year later, he was telling this story, and he was telling it from the perspective of, well, I guess I should have just left it at the wart, and quit while I was ahead. And then he realized that sitting right next to him was his new girlfriend, with whom he had a better relationship, who was also named Mary.
Oh, yeah.
So, just got to keep looking at, when we do this kind of work, we just have to keep looking at everything as a sign of our success.
Yeah.
Anybody else got thoughts or their own stories to share, or questions, anything at all? So has anybody joined us on the phone who I didn't say hi to yet? Coming in late? Anyone out there I don't know about?
Hi, Lynn. This is Jacqueline.
Hey, Jacqueline. I was wondering if you were out there. Glad to have you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was washing dishes. Watch what time it is.
Not a problem. I'm just happy to know you're here.
Thank you.
All you phone callers can kind of hide out, and I hate it when I don't get a chance to say hi. Well, let me mute everybody again, and we'll just go for the meditation part. We'll dive in. There you go. Everybody's muted. So this meditation, it begins with healing old wounds, and then it moves into spiritual manifesting work. And we've talked a lot about the different elements that give rise to the most effective manifesting in the last couple of weeks. So you can review that at your leisure if you haven't seen those lessons yet. But don't worry about that now, because this is where we just do the powerful spiritual work that is such an important part of what makes all these teachings go for us. Now, if you have your heart's desires list with you that we've been working on since spring, just take it out and take a moment to read over it before we start. And if you don't, then just take a moment to either write down or just reflect on something important that you would like to manifest. The things that are at the top of your passion and desire list. So I'll give you a moment for that, so that you have all those lovely things in your head. As I keep saying, this really is very powerful work we're doing. It is the power of group energy. There's the power of the seasonal energy of the solstice. There's the foundation that's been laid in previous lessons. Even if you haven't been part of those lessons, there's been an energy built up through all the previous classes and all the other students. And all of these come together to create an opportunity for tremendously accelerated growth. This really could be a turning point in our lives if we choose to reach for it. So as we get ready for this, just let your excitement start to build, because this too is part of an effective manifesting state. And you don't even have to believe that what we're doing is powerful. You just need to be willing to imagine what it would feel like if you did believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that all things are possible, that we're opening a window of opportunity where miracles can fly in. And that window doesn't need to stay open forever. Just opening that window of opportunity, even for brief moments, is enough to let some life-changing experience fly in. So, with that in mind, just relax your body now and close your eyes. Quiet your thoughts with some deep, slow breaths. And just let everything relax. Breathing yourself peaceful and present. And as your attention turns inward, reflect now on the failed leaps of hope that have most left their mark on you, and bring them to mind vividly enough that you can even feel the hurt they caused. You can just bring it to life in your imagination and imagine that the residue of these experiences really is something real that's still left in your body. These past traumas, they leave some armoring, something left at the level of our physical body. And as you get in touch with this painful experience, see if you can identify where physically you hold these wounds. You might notice if it just feels like it's in your gut, or you have a feeling in your throat, or something's tightening up or just caving in. Just notice the physicality of this painful experience, where you're still holding it in your body. And as you find where that is, let it take some kind of solid form in your imagination. Let this feeling of emotional pain take a shape, take on a color. Maybe there's movement to it, so it has a visual. If emotion is there, just feel it without any resistance. Just let yourself feel the grief or rage or fear, the disappointment, any betrayal or shame or other hurt attached to these old experiences. And if any tears want to come, just let them. Tears are always a way that we clear toxicity out of our body. And imagine that any emotion that you feel now is coming to the surface in order to be released. And to assist in this healing, in a very intentional way, invoke the power and the wisdom of your higher self. And you can also invoke any other form of spiritual assistance that's meaningful to you, by whatever name is potent for you. It could be God, Creator, the Divine Source, Higher Power, the Guardian Angels, Jesus, the higher selves of people who love you, or any personification of spirit that has power for you. Just take a moment to invoke that assistance. because with spiritual assistance, when we ask, we receive. And now know that you are not alone in this process, that the healing that maybe you haven't been able to accomplish from our, just so familiar illusionary position of being separate, it's possible now because you've opened yourself to help and to begin the healing. What you're first going to do is to actually pull the residue from these old wounding experiences, that residue that's literally embedded in your body. You're going to pull that out of your flesh and bone and blood. You're going to take it from your body and move it to the energy field that extends around your body, and create this very vividly in your imagination. And use your mind as well as your hands. Really imagine that you are reaching in and pulling out this psychic substance and placing it in the field surrounding your body. By actually using your hands, you give it a kinesthetic dimension that just makes it all the more powerful. So create the sensation and the imagery of this as strongly as you can, making it very vivid and real in your imagination. And imagine that your higher self or other spiritual assistance is helping you in this process. And just let your imagination fill in the details of what this process looks like and feels like. Because this is the first step in letting these wounds go. This part is like taking the trash out to the curb to be collected. And in doing this, you've already diminished your attachment to these past hurts. Just the way by putting your garbage on the curb, it's not gone yet, but you let it go. So instead of these old hurts having power over you, you're now in your power to release. So just take a moment for that. Really imagine pulling the psychic residue of all of these hurts out of your body, placing them in the energy field around your body, preparing them to be carted away. And to complete your healing now and move into the manifestation phase of our spiritual work here, let your sense of identification shift from the small self of your personality and your body to your spiritual higher self, and imagine yourself as being so much more than your body and your thoughts and your emotions and your personal history. You're so much more than that. Recognize yourself as being a beautiful, radiant being of light. And see the higher selves of other students in this course now joining you. The ones who are here live, as well as the ones who will be watching this video tomorrow or the next day. And we've all gathered beyond the illusionary limits of space and time in just the most magnificent sacred arena in the spiritual realm. And together we form a powerful circle for healing and support. And at first you see those who are currently in this program. And then, because in the spiritual realm time is an illusion, you also see the lights of all the souls who have in the past and will in the future gather in this circle created by our intent. All the Miracles Course students, past, present, and future. And recognize how much more powerful we are together. Our joined intentions, quicken our growth and awaken our intuition and heighten our magnetism to our highest good. So what has seemed difficult in the past will now come more easily. So just for a moment, feel the energy of the circle building. See the light getting stronger and brighter. And the light of our circle, now it's gotten so bright that we attract to us an even greater light. And you can picture this as just the most beautiful and brilliant spiritual sun that's shining light to all of us. And know this to be the light of divine love. And you can experience it as just profoundly peaceful. And allow this light to just wash over you, through your body, as well as all through the energy field surrounding your body. And this light shines away anything that has dimmed your radiance. And you see it now burning away, melting away, washing away, or otherwise just disappearing. All these wounds from the past, all the ones you've placed out at the curb to be taken away. And it also starts clearing away anything that you no longer need to carry in your body and mind. So just be open for any kind of healing that you need. And as old hurts are released, as you fill with this deep peace of divine light, you become more powerfully radiant than you were before. In fact, each of us now emanates a more brilliant and potent vibration of light. Our healing work has increased the energy of our circle and prepared it to receive our highest heart's desires. We've done the work. Now the rest is easy. So feel the presence of all kinds of spiritual helpers. Just far beyond that of all the individuals who are part of this work. All the angels, the non-physical beings of light and love who come, who are drawn to this kind of work, when we really are holding out for the highest good of all. We're never alone, and that's our intention. And it's not necessary to even be aware of all that's now happening at the spiritual realm. But, do be open to any visual or auditory or emotional or other impressions that come to you. So you might have some experiences of spiritual reality breaking through into conscious awareness. But if you're not aware of much, that doesn't matter either. Just know that with this kind of work, it's often that most of it goes on below the surface of awareness. That doesn't make it any less powerful. And imagine that the hard and fixed nature of reality as we've known it is now becoming very fluid and soft. It's truly what we think of as cold, harsh reality is really just an illusion of our own making. And as this illusion falls away, it's being replaced by something benevolent and responsive. And it's into this reality where all things are possible that we are going to offer our heart's desires lists. So imagine, or actually hold if you have it present. Now if you haven't even done it, just imagine holding the list that you will be creating. Because, time's an illusion. So just imagine holding that list and see everyone in our circle doing the same. All the Miracles Course students, past, present, and future, holding their list, and take a moment to just savor all the many life changes and dreams represented on your list. If there's one particularly important heart's desire, bring it to mind now. And step into it, imagining it as though it's already come to pass, making it so real and vivid that you can feel the delight of it and the fulfillment that comes as this dream manifests in tangible ways. Just walk around in this reality. Enjoy it. Imagine your own and maybe other people's voices congratulating you for all that you've accomplished, for how far you've come. And you look back at the path and you see it was just so much easier than you ever expected. It happened in the perfect timing, in the perfect way, maybe more quickly than you ever dreamed. And you just feel so at peace and content, living in this dream, living in the reality that once was a dream. And as you just feel this with every fiber of your being, and all of your cells are just vibrating with this energy of fulfillment, now release all the pictures you have in mind, all the agendas, all the plans, all the things, the details that you think have to happen in order to have this feeling. Just let all those go and just keep the good feeling. Just keep that. And now with all the lightness of being you can muster, imagine all of us, all at once, all the people, past, present, and future, who are part of this Miracles Course network. Imagine us all at once handing our desires up, letting them all fly free, each one flying away like a butterfly. And take a moment to just really enjoy the whole flurry of it as countless butterflies take flight. All kinds of beautiful colors, and send them off with the certainty that what comes back to you and to each of us will be what we imagined, or something even better. And take a moment to just be as excited about all the other people manifesting their heart's desires as you are for yourself. Your heart just overflows with love. And now just feel grateful for all those others who've added to your experience, and for just all the blessings that exist in your life now, and for all the blessings that have ever been, and for all the blessings that are coming. Be grateful. And just savor this moment for a bit. Just imagine that you are just completely in the moment, completely content in the fullness of God, perfect faith that even though you don't know what's going to happen, you know it's going to be great. And then just take some deep breaths and just slowly bring yourself back to your normal waking state. Open your eyes. And there's an exercise for the week, which is to at least several times a day over the next week affirm that in order to create your highest possible future, all you need to do is to release thoughts of the past and the future, and to create this instant to be as full and rich and loving as you would like the rest of your life to become. And as you hold this thought, fill yourself for an instant, and you can do this right now, with the inner experience of joy and love and appreciation, of just being at peace in the moment, living in the fullness of life. And create this feeling so vividly that you can even experience it as a physical sensation of well-being in your body. So that you just feel your body relaxing differently, energy is moving through you differently, any kind of tension or fear or unhappy experience just shifts into deep, profound peace. And you can also add to that inner experience any images that fill you with joy and peace. Maybe you'll imagine beautiful butterflies just flying everywhere, or your favorite flower, or a totem animal that speaks to you, or anything. Maybe your beloved child. Whatever fills you with joy and peace in the moment, bring that image to mind. And also say to yourself any words that help to trigger feelings of peace. Maybe just a short affirmation. Maybe even just, thank you, God. Or I am at peace. Or all is well. Or I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be great. And know as you do this that each instant you devote to fully experiencing peace and well-being is like a seed you've planted. It's taking root and growing the joyful future that matches it. So, again, I am going to unmute everybody. And just open it up if anybody has thoughts or comments or sharing or anything left. Well, I'll tell you what, before I know that was kind of a long meditation, it's a little bit hard to find words right after we do that. What I was thinking I would do, if I can get this up on my screen, is give everyone an oracle message that somehow relates to what you're manifesting right now. So as this message comes to you, and I'm going to just pull one of these for everyone, just imagine this is some message from your higher self, from Spirit, showing you something about what will help you really open to your highest good, maybe even some glimmer about what your highest good is. It's going to speak to you calling in your heart's desire. And this is from my community oracle, for any of you who aren't familiar with this. This usually comes in my email messages, but I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my screen for you all. There it is. So I'm just going to go down the list of everybody and pick a message. For those of you who are on the phone, I'll share what the message is, but you might want to go look at the video so that you actually see the picture. This community oracle is made up of hundreds and hundreds of messages that were basically little pictures and words created by hundreds of people. So it's kind of a fun voice that has so many different messages, it's hard to know what it's going to say. So I'll start with Sam Gates. Here's your message, Sam. Your message, Sam, is to talk about it. There you go. Uh-oh. I lost it there for a minute. Let me see. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go next to Jan Gerard. Aw, Jan, your message is you've reached the garden, and it says, ah, and there's lots of pretty flowers. And now Pete Gerard. Pete, your message is there's help coming to you from unseen sources. Next is Donna. Donna, your message says rich, flowing, heart-deep, truthful conversation with a great big heart. Love that one. Brenda, your message is to cooperate, and there's 4 people who are all just kind of flying together in this very cooperative way. Kasha, your message is a blue moon, a rare occurrence. Jacqueline, your message is you need to slow down. Need to slow down. Carol, your message is order from chaos. And Rachel, your message is there's no limit to what I can receive if I'm willing. So Melissa, your message is good to the last drop, so satisfied. And Nicole, your message is release the block by forgiving. And Owen, your message is let go of the past. Seems very apropos for what we've been doing. So Yvette, your message is timing is everything. And Billy, your message is try door number 3 for a change. And there's door number 1 and there's door number 2, and there's lots of little arrows saying take a look at door number 3. I always think of that card as being akin to, when we think there's only 2 options, there actually is a third. Sandra, your message is vibrations travel through time and space. And Sheila, your message is courage. Courage, courage. And JD, your message is stick to your goals. That's clear. Sam B, your message is speak softly and carry a big heart. Your humility will be rewarded. Well, that kind of sounds like how you always are, but I guess you'll understand what that means. All right. I'm unmuting everybody again. Oh, I guess you already were unmuted. Well, anybody, if you have any comments about the message that picked you, this is a totally random process, this oracle thing on my website. And I always think synchronicity has a way of just bringing messages to us that often can get through some of the filters of our personal agendas. Sometimes it's just right on because it'll just echo something in the back of our minds that we weren't quite sure to trust. Sometimes it just puts some really different information in front of our face that winds up helping us see things differently. Thoughts, anyone? Questions?
I had to, Lynn, this is Sam. I had to laugh because I am actually very shy, and what I'm trying to do in manifesting my miracle is a very outgoing sort of job, and my message was talk about it.
Well, there you have it.
Stop hiding.
There you have it.
Hey, Lynn?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Donna. May I ask you, because I wasn't able to hear the first part of what you read for me. Would you kindly read that again?
Uh-oh, I don't know. I just pulled it up from... Oh, I do remember yours. It's a great image of this beautiful heart, and there were just a lot of words that describe conversation, like rich, deep, heartfelt, and I can't remember all the descriptive words, but that kind of conversation.
Great.
It was a lovely card. You might want to check out the video and really see the image. It's really quite lovely.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Others? Now, I think this is Sam Bullington, but I could not hear that. You just got kind of digitalized. Try again. Couldn't hear you. No? Anybody else? Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Well, if there's nothing else, we can call it a wrap. Rachel, you will be getting information, you probably this evening, about how to access the online materials, and you'll see a lot of the written material that goes along with the lesson we just did, and there's a recorded meditation you can listen to right from the website. This recording of this whole webinar session will be online soon as well. There's a Facebook page that you can join where it gets posted immediately, and we'll send you information about that. But if nobody has anything left, last chance?
This was wonderful. Thank you, Lynn.
Oh, good. Then I will just say good night. I love you all. Namaste. Happy solstice.
Yeah.
Good night, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Thank you. It's going to be very powerful solstice.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye, Owen.
Bye.